Someone casually going nuclear in chat. Alright. The moment we have all been waiting for. I guess we can call it round 3 of the best of 5s. The first 2 went in favor of Clem. Seems that our prediction so far is actually kind of close. They have already hosted the lobby, so now I'm afraid that maybe 15 minutes was a mistake and I should have gone for 10 minutes. But everybody needed a break. They all said they needed time, so I thought it was going to take a little while. Alright. Reynor is still going to take a little while. Clem is ready. Reynor is almost ready. Oceanborn is going to be our battleground. What are we going to see out of Reynor? Probably at least some Muda games. We saw an absolutely fantastic game last Friday. I don't know if it's already been posted on the BASILISK YouTube channel. Let me take a look. If you guys want to watch some more StarCraft. Reynor, Clem, BBB. Yeah, it's actually already posted. This was a very cool series where game 2 on Heartland was sick and game 3 on Solaris, and unfortunately I kind of missed a sick Muda explosion. This is actually a very good series. You guys can obviously always watch that one if you're hungry for some more TVZ and if you did not watch any StarCraft on the Friday night. How's everyone else? Their ladder games going on this fine Monday night? I played some ladder games this morning. I got smoked for a bit and then I started winning a few. Tomorrow I'll try to be live at 10 AM so we can do 2 hours of ladder. 2 hours of ladder into 4 mirror matches. While we wait for the nerds to be ready, as I believe Reynor just said ready. Tomorrow, guys, Masters Coliseum 7 will continue. This is in 14 hours from now. So in 14 hours from now we enter the playoffs of a very big online tournament. It is 4 mirrors, but obviously the mirrors are amazing, and this also means no mirrors in the semifinals, no mirrors in round 1 of the lower bracket. That is going to be best of 7. Don't think I've ever seen this. Best of 5 upper bracket, best of 7 lower bracket, but whatever. All 4 best of 5s will be played tomorrow at noon Central European time, not summertime. Standard time. 6 AM on the East Coast, 3 AM on the West Coast. 4 amazing series that are very important. A lot of money on the line in that one. Way more than here on the Monday night. Oh, we still love Monday night video gaming. Seaberg is on a warpath as well. You guys are doing fantastic.
Let's get it on.
It's not hard to be nice to each other, guys. It's Monday night. It's video gaming. Your man Roddy has been here for 191 weeks. Be a little nicer to one another. It's free, I promise.
Round 1. Fight.
Your PayPal will not be drained by being nice to each other. Here we go, in the top left side of Oceanborn. I haven't seen him at all this entire weekly. It's just kind of because he's so freaking good that a lot of his games are going to be a bit one-sided. So I prefer to watch other gamers first, because I know I get an opportunity to cast this young man later. The one, the only.
Liquid Clem.
Bottom right side of Oceanborn, we are looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion. Thursday it did not go his way, Friday didn't go his way. Is Monday the day that we set the record straight. Representing Basilisk, the one and only Reynor. A crazy amount of channel points are being wagered, by the way. I do love seeing that. 1.6 million channel points against 900,000, and the prediction is still open for a few more minutes. It's posted already. I watched it on a hangover it gave me. And it gave you the strength to get out of bed. I know you guys won't believe this because you guys see me have a beer every now and then. And I like to ladder with a whiskey or cast with a whiskey. But I don't even remember the last time I was really hangover. I'm just so bad in dealing with hangovers these days because I'm old. That it's just not worth the pain. I know there was one. But I forgot when it was. In Atlanta, there was not any. Homestead Cup, I wouldn't say there were any. I mean, the Friday morning of the Homestead Cup, I felt a tiny bit rough after our celebration dinner for Vicky's birthday, but it wasn't too bad. The real hangover is a long time ago. Maybe Katowice last year or something. Yeah, that probably was one. So Clem has opened up with a depot on the low ground and double barracks on the low ground. So 3 Reapers, and we'll probably keep it at 3 Reapers. Earlier today we saw Clem go for one of these triple CCs, triple Reaper, and then double Cyclone and a quick 60 Marine double medevac drop. Reynor was in the chat watching that game, and he said that build is incredibly hard to beat. Clem did lose with it, but that's mostly because, I don't know, Clem felt a tiny bit off against Solar. A couple of missed opportunities, but we know that the kid can do better if he's feeling it. What stadium was it in, by the way, Dr. Rossi? I couldn't watch it all. I followed the score a little, but I don't even know where they played. Did they play in Rome? And did you go to the game? Because I know it just ended. Seems like I didn't miss much tonight. One of the Reapers has died, but Reynor obviously has not been able to sneak out a drone yet, and he's not been able to get a 3rd hatchery. I think at this point he would kind of love to have a 3rd hatch. Clem knows the timing of Link Speed finishing up to a T, so he's gonna send the Reapers home, keep him safe. I don't think that's the case here, Drunuf. I never try to focus too much on like the 2 or 3 weird comments, because obviously if you stream for 4.5 hours and you have 1,000+ people tuning in, you're gonna see a couple of comments here and there where it's like, oh, people are not that nice, but you can also focus on the 98% that's been incredibly sweet, supportive to the game, to the players, to me, to other people in the chat. So overall, it's obviously been perfectly fine. But I saw things heating up a little bit for absolutely no reason in the chat. So then I tried to save it. Clem has decided to send his Reapers out one more time. These Reapers are going to be chased down the links. Well, with the Cyclone showing up. And now maybe the Cyclones can get surrounded too. I don't know who's trapping who, guys. I like to say that this is good for Reynor, but that's only if he can get the wraparound on the units. And he has taken out the Hellions. Clem actually forgot about that Hellion. This is not the start that Clément is looking for. Reynor gets the Reapers, and Clem, by trying to save the Reapers, actually ends up losing the first 2 Cyclones and the first 2 Hellions. And that is honestly a big blow to this entire build of Clem, as it is indeed, you know, that build that I mentioned in the beginning, that Reynor was talking about earlier today as well, that Clem went for on El Sione against Solar in the Masters Colosseum. But now that build doesn't really exist, because he lost the Reapers, he lost the Hellions, he lost the Cyclones. So now it's just triple CC with 2 medevacs, and that should be a lot easier for Reynor to deal with. I don't have that Sea Shark. Like, I can legitimately always have a glass of wine with dinner or have a whiskey or 2 when I'm streaming for 5 hours. That does not bother me the next day. But like, if I ever spend a night with Reynor, where Reynor is like, hey, do the Zika special, and here, drink there. Like, anything more than 5 drinks in a short period, that is what I'm going to feel the next day. 1 or 2 drinks does not bother me yet, and hopefully it will stay like that. I'll be very sad if I reach that day. As I said earlier, the build of Clem is now no longer really the build, because what normally would make this very hard for Reynor to deal with is that it's not just these 2 medevacs and these 50 Marines that are still annoying, by the way, especially in the hands of Clem. We cannot just sleep on it and think it doesn't pack a punch anymore, because if Clem gets a cancer here, which he does, and then it's still not all that bad, and Clem is going to get a lot more than just a hatchery cancer. He gets a queen as well. Can he get another one? Yes, he does. Alright, Clem is ridiculous. And now this is only half of the build. Imagine a world where he has 2 Reapers, 4 Hellions, and 2 Cyclones working on either this hatch and prevent it from going up, or the shooting at the Evo chambers, driving into the natural. That would have been so difficult for Reynor to deal with. They played in Riyadh? Is there anything not happening in Riyadh these days? Guys, I would actually like to take this moment to make a very, very special announcement. I know that a lot of you guys tune in every single Monday. You guys enjoy the weekly. I've got good news. The European Pro Tour Weekly is moving to Riyadh. I'll be covering it from an apartment there with my own PC, and I can't wait. It's gonna be sick. Everything is happening in Riyadh these days. This is a proper run by the way, as Reynor leaves a decent amount of links behind. Kills 8 SCVs. For a split second, it looked like it was going to be a whole lot more. With these run-bys, what is so nice about it for Reynor is that he kind of forces Clem to pull back to Clem's side of the map. And that's where Reynor can just do his thing, sneak out a few more drones. And obviously set up the next run-by, because Clem loses all of the map presence that he had. Baneling speed is done. Clem is very focused on this army, but we see the minimap and we know that Reynor is ready for another run-by. And it's not just Zerglings. Oh, Clem, that's minus 20 SCVs, mate. Minus 21 as Reynor gets a perfect connection, and he's going to get maybe a couple in the natural as well. Clem is still focused on this army in the that's out on the bout, but if you get one hatchery but you lose 30 SCVs, maybe even a little bit more, it is not worth it. That Widow Mine shot gets a tiny connection, but Clem's economy is in shambles. Reynor has successfully derailed whatever Clem had in mind here on Oceanborn, and it is really starting to look like Reynor should be able to take the 1-0 lead here, because I don't think Reynor is going to die to like 9 Zerglings. There's still 68 army supply, but it's just too bio. Like, this is the kind of stuff that Reynor can absolutely deal with. Thank you to Tazata for gifting 5 with subbies. Welcome, Trucks. Reynor's even giving us a couple of burrowed Banelings. He knows that I love it. There you go. Thanks, mate. You know, if you just tease Reynor enough, guys, about not getting certain things, he's going to keep on getting it. He needs to be careful here. One of those Widowmines could fire. He burrowed. I think that Clem saw it. I assume that Clem saw it. Did Clem see it? Clem did not see it. Boom, baby. Reynor is putting on a highlight reel. He says, where are those gamers? 8 bonuses at. A lot of you guys don't really remember this or don't know the story behind this. Obviously, some of the diehards will. But Gamers 8, the massive tournament that Reynor won last summer in Riyadh, actually gave out a couple bonuses as well. And those bonuses were $10,000 each, which is the equivalent of winning another big international StarCraft event. But they just gave it out as a bonus. And Elaser got a $10,000 bonus for a shit ton of burrowed banelings against Spirit. And since that day, we talk about the 10k burrowed banelings. Well, feel like Reynor deserves a little bounty for that. Doesn't have to be 10k, but... Do you have on your soundboard? I was just trying to force late game and then he died. Well, that's not quite the saying, but yes, I do have it. But I don't like overusing them, because if I overuse them, you guys get tired of it. There are some moments where it is absolutely perfect to use that voice line. And it is funny if you guys don't hear it all the time. But if you do hear it all the time, like Liquid Clem, it becomes less funny. Unless you guys tell me you still like it. Top left side, the down 01 loading into the best Zerg map that we are going to play in this best of 5. Can we turn things around, or is tonight just the night that belongs to the Italian Stallion? This is our very own
Liquid Clem.
Representing the boys in blue. Spawning as our blue Terran. In the top right side, we know that the kiddo is fired up and he's trying to be as ready as possible before he travels to Poland to finally win an IM Katowice offline, as he has obviously never done that. He won it in the COVID year, he made it to the grand finals the year after, and he lost in a very close best of 7 to Serral. And last year, well, we all know what happened. He ran into the normal man that was not very normal. Is this year going to be different? Basilisk, Reynor. Shout out to the Laser Show as well for gifting us 5 subbies. Let's go, matey. Welcome, Roscoe, as well. See you there, mate. It is time for Roscoe to make it to another home story cup, guys. Yeah, that was awesome. Great game by Reynor. Great counterattacks. It obviously all started off in the very beginning, right? Where Clem lost the 2 Hellions, lost the 2 Cyclones. We're trying to save that Reaper, or those 2 Reapers that were still alive. And I think that kind of derailed his entire strategy, made it a little bit easier for Reynor to survive in that early mid game. And once Reynor started going, we never looked back. He would not GG after those Banes. Well, contrary to what Reddit likes to believe, these 2 are very good friends. And I know there was the whole handshake gate But if Clem tells all of us that he did not see Reynor, there's absolutely zero reason to not believe him, guys. Because Clem is a very sweet kid. These two grew up together. They turned 16, very close to one another. Clem was able to participate in one more event before Reynor turned 16. That is obviously a little over 5 years ago, as both of them are 21 at the moment. But they've always been friends. Reynor rose to the top a little bit quicker than Clem, but for the last 3 years, these two kids, they get along incredibly well. And they will always GG one another. Even if they fight hard, they fight fair with a lot of respect. And some of you guys find it boring that the kids are nice. We need drama, this, that. I personally think it's awesome that they get along so well. Does not mean that they ever go any easier on each other, guys. Because if one of them can 3-0 the other guy, they'll do it any day of the week. I don't know what the channel point prediction game settled for in the end, but obviously I know that it was still open while Reynor started to do well. Clem has a triple CC opening once more, but it's of course a bit different than in game 1. We did not have that depot on the low ground, double barracks on the low ground. Equilibrium is a map where Reynor loves to go Muras. He did lose the last time he played on this map though, and he tried to go Muras. I think Reynor also does not want to take this base as the third anymore. I think he said it's bait. Whenever you try to do that, you just get picked apart because it's too hard to defend that base in the center and defend your main at the same time. So keep the bases a little bit closer to each other first, and he will obviously try to take it as his fourth base. I definitely am Katniss. Lynx get us around on the Hellion, and that Reaper is very low on HP. Should die. I still think it will die. Can we also get the second Hellion? That is not going to happen, but Reaper and the Hellion dying that quick is obviously not too shabby. I'm not aware of it, Maples and Bully, but I do have the feeling it's not the first time. I'll take a look at the match, the chat history later. I don't know. Some people are truly evil and they think that kind of stuff is funny, or they want to joke. Try to put the streamer in a bad mood, try to bring him down. But not gonna focus on that, guys. Baneling nest is halfway done. Yes. We are just waiting. Obviously, it's a bit harder for Clem to be as aggressive on this map as it is such a large map compared to some of the others. Reynor has a very quick run by. Reynor obviously knows the timings of Clem's builds very well. Knows when Clem likes to pick up those Marines and send them to the other side of the map. And now these two medevacs guys are forced to turn around. So those Reynor Link run-bys are just timed kind of perfectly this day and age. And once more, Clem is forced to retreat. Makes it easier for Reynor to get his thing going on his side of the map. Doesn't kill a lot of SCVs there, but he buys time. And time, it makes all the difference. Second run by is going to happen. This time around, Clem's medevacs are a bit too far away, so Clem is not going to turn around. But this is not enough Marines, Claymore. This is not enough Marines. He has a few more hiding behind the SCVs, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. So then I really hope for Clem that this double drop gets something done, but doesn't really look like it. Man, Reynor is on fire so far, guys. Reynor is enjoying an 8 worker lead, and he's going to be able to easily get this mega base up and running. This is a night and day difference compared to some of the other games that we've seen between these two. Now, of course, not there yet. Takes a little while before you can start celebrating against Clem. So far, I think it looks very good. I love this creep door in the main base as well, just to give that bit of extra creep for your links, give a bit of extra vision, so you always know when Clem is ready to unload. Double Evo now up and running for Reynor. +1 carapace is way quicker than +1 melee, but at least he has double Evo. And that is obviously what matters here the most. Baneling speed is done as well. Clem throws down a scan. He's gonna try to push creep back a little bit. Tiny Baneling run by on the other side of the map. Clem not paying attention yet, and that means that these Banes will connect, blow up the alley, and blow up a couple of Marines, and 5 SCVs to go along with it. One of the factories. Oh yeah, this one. I was about to say stop being produced, but I was like, that's weird because I didn't see any run by in the net for the main. But it's just the factory, the third. Reynor is actually down 7 workers, which I find very surprising because he really didn't need to be. He has only lost 2 drones, so he is producing a crazy amount of links and banes. He's got 98 links. Is Reynor's game plan here to just end the game with link bane? Because Reynor didn't need to be discommitted, but Reynor is going to be discommitted as he has another baneling run by. There are some links defending in Reynor's main as well. 11 SCVs die, make it 14. There is a Widow Mine there. Oh, that could get another devastating shot off. There are Widow Mines all over the place. Which one is going to fire first? I think the one in the main. Oh, no, it doesn't fire. That's crazy. The one in the natural does not fire either. The one in the mega base is going to fire one more time. Reynor has another baneling run by, but Reynor, you've already killed all the SCVs, mate. Well, there's a few more. And he is going to get a few more. As the Queens are now battling the Marines. I mean, this game is now getting incredibly chaotic. I think I would have liked it a lot more, maybe from a macro-oriented point of view. Because now Reynor is trying to end it on 50-something drones with pure Link Bane. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it feels very risky. He is going to get a kill on the 4th base, though. As Clem is busy microing elsewhere. I'm not totally certain where, but there's 4 fights happening, so it's hard to figure out what Clem is looking at exactly. Like, in Clem's mind, he's probably mega dead. But I actually don't think Clem is that mega dead. Because it's 53 workers against 52. And of course Reynor has the gold and the rich Vespian Geyser, which makes his economy a lot more powerful. This is honestly not even that bad for Clem. Especially because Reynor has no mobile anti-air other than Queen. He's got 139 links. What the fuck? Meine Fresse, the Germans would say. 143 Zerglings, and he's just gonna go for it. And if Clem does not load a depot or does not do a good job in body blocking, if those links get in, he's in trouble. Like, if you're Clem, you gotta feel so dead, but he's really not that dead. In a weird way, this game is very close, very competitive. All that Clem needs to do is just survive the swarm here. And that is easier said than done, but it's starting to look like Clem is doing an alrighty job as he is holding the door here. And Reynor has gone from 140 something links to 78 links. He is still killing SCVs. I mean, this is chaos. 2-3 fights happening at any given moment. You would normally say that this favors the Terran though, because Marines and Medevacs skill better than pure Link Bane. Reynor did not have to play the game like this. He decided to do it. And I am afraid for him that he's going to pay a hefty price for it, but it could still work. There's no need to assume that the next run by is not going to be devastating, but I'm starting to feel that Reynor threw this game a little. He did so much economic damage, he could have thrown up, but he did not throw it up. And that just kind of made every attack not quite an all-in, but it felt all very committed and close to being an all-in. Do we have an... No, we still have no infestation pit, guys. Reynor is just trying to win here with Link Bane on Equilibrium. And once the Ridden Claws is done, and now +2 attack is done as well for the bio units, I'm afraid that this is not the way. But who are we to doubt Reynor, guys? Reynor has looked damn good, had a good start as well. Feel like he has made life a little hard on himself here. This reminds me of the days that I casted an IEM in Kiev, and it was Dimaga against MMA. And Dimaga would just go for 2-2 Link Bane all in every game. With a couple Muras every now and then. But obviously Clem is not MMA. Reynor is not Dimaga. That's probably a good thing. As he is going to find some more economic damage. But there's Widow Mines all over the shop. 23 additional SCVs will fall. Clem is now down to 28. Honestly, Clem should probably just stop attacking for a little bit and maybe focus on the defense. But that is not what Clem likes to do. One medevac is very low on HP. There are so many mines, guys. There are so many mines, and all of them are cloaked. Reynor needs to have detection everywhere. Clem is dropping in 2-3 different places at once, and I don't see how you deal with this if all you have are links and banes. Because that Widowmine will fire. Reynor has 2 Spore Crawlers. How many Overseers? 1. 2 Spores and 1 Overseer. That can't ever be enough, as we do have a couple of Banelings trying to get on top of these Widowmines. One of them fires. The Liberator will siege up. Clem's having a hard time unloading his units. Clem is down in workers, but has way more battle units. There's so many Zerglings still. This has to be a record for Lings in such a short game. 292 Lings have already died. As a Widowmine fires at an Overlord. Another Ling run by, make it Ling number 5. I mean, these kids is playing on steroids at this point. So much, so much aggression. Those 2 Lings have unburrowed and tried to morph into Banelings, but Clem is all over that. Clem also finds these burrowed Zerglings at the top. You look at the SCVs and you think that Clem is dead. I personally really don't think that Clem is dead. If Clem can just slow the game down a tiny bit and stop moving out with everything, I really don't think he's dead. Reynor has 6 queens. But Clem just keeps on attacking. He's Charlie Sheen over here, babe. He's got 1 speed, 1 gear, and that is go. So Clem is going to attack Reynor, and Reynor is going to attack Clem again. We're going to have Widowmines and burrowed Zerglings all over the shop. We have a couple of Widowmines hidden here as well. Only 31 Marines. That is really not that many. The Widowmine shots are decent. +3 is about to kick in. +3 against a Lair Tech Zerg. Who the hell is going to win this absolutely bananas bonkers game? On Equilibrium. Here in the grand finals. I'm still saying Clem, and I know maybe I look dumb because he's been down 30 workers, but I just think that his army skill's better. He's got a tiny army supply lead, and I just think his army skill's better. These Widowmine shots are inevitable because this is Clem. Reynor blows up more Banes on the other side of the map. Absolute chaos. 103 against 104 suppliers. Clem just stands there and snipes every single Baneling that gets close to these Marines. These Widowmines cannot be saved. Clem is still attacking the Mega Base. Still. Wow. Mental. Absolutely crazy game between these two. I still stand by my call that I think Clem is winning. Because it's like if this was Hive Tech and we have Adrenal Glands, like maybe, you know, maybe this can tip into Reynor's favor. But now with +3 done. We have a couple of burrowed Banelings here again. That's very similar to those burrowed Banelings he had on El Cyone, where Clem likes to unload units. But I don't know if it's going to come into play this time around. 77 army supply against 48. Clem is still just on triple orbital. But all he needs to battle are Lings and Banes. Both players are in double digits in a 15-minute game. This is so rare. These nerds are normally always maxed out and have a bank, and then they can max out again. Not this game. Just so many fights. Why are there so many fights? Clem has now found an opening in the main base of Reynor. Supplies are closer than they've ever been before, as Clem is going to pick off another queen that just popped. Reynor is still working with 6 queens. Has lost 23 queens. 23 queens in a 15-minute game. The only man who have lost more queens is Risky when he played against me. And he won that game, by the way. So maybe that's good news for all the Reynor fans. Clem throws down one of these almost desperation scans, I feel like, in the bottom side, where he's like, am I just coping here? Am I like dead? No, you're not dead at all. I think after seeing the main, Clem kind of knows that because he sees a lair. He does not see Hive. And if you're playing against Lair Tech Zerg, you're never really dead. This is such a crazy game between these two. You see people hate on Equilibrium. Dumb map, imbalance, blah, blah, blah. We need some different maps in StarCraft, guys, to give us different games. It doesn't always need to be a whole bunch of Ghosts and Liberators splitting the map in half against Vipers and Infestors. There's some old school fucking scrapping here between Marines and Widowmines versus Lings and Banes and a crazy amount of queens. Clem has now taken the supply lead, and obviously Reynor's Mega Base is about to be mined out. Couple hundred gas left, couple hundred minerals left. I don't think it's gonna be enough. Lair Tech Zerg with 80 something supply is not gonna beat a triple CC Clem. Okay, Widowmine connects second with the Baneling, but also the friendly fire. Second Baneling did blow up 5 SCVs. Clem just refuses to build another base. He tried once, Reynor killed it, and Clem's like, alright, if you kill it, I guess triple CC it is. I mean, Reynor still has the worker lead, but I just don't know if that really means a whole lot. Fucking crazy game, man. As we finally have a tiny moment to recover. 593 Zerglings and 47 Banelings have gone down. 93 SCVs in a 17-minute game is crazy as well. Something you normally see in those 30 or 40-minute games. Big Widowmine shot. More links will fall. Reynor has a lot of money in the bank. You'd almost think a couple of investors could maybe be cool. As he did have a Baneling run by immediately. As Reynor has now officially killed 102 SCVs in a 17-minute game. I don't want to say that that's an all-time record, but that is a crazy amount of SCVs for 17 minutes. And I still don't think he's going to win. Clem is down to 20 SCVs, and I still believe that Clem is winning. Am I coping, guys? Am I just in love with Clem? Reynor is here with Links and Banes. Okay, Reynor actually takes full control of this gold. That might be big, but there's so many mines. There are 17 Widow Mines. How do you deal with 17, 18 Widow Mines with Drilling Claws, 4th of July, fireworks all over the place? Clem obviously is running out of minerals now as well. Clem basically has no income. Clem is down to 1 Marine. Maybe Reynor has done it. I actually think that Reynor has done it with 44 drones. Clem is basically completely out of mining at this point, guys. There's 2 mineral patches in the natural, but that won't give him anything. Clem needs to get his hands on this gold, but there are burrowed circlings preventing this race from going up. Now I actually believe that Reynor is winning. Clem was down to 1 Marine. 1 Marine. And no income at all, as there are burrowed circlings everywhere. This orbital, by the way, could be burning down. We'll keep an eye on it. Lairtech Zerg. 2-2 Link Bane against +3 bio. I mean, there's still so many mines. There are so many mines. There's a mine literally every 10 feet that Reynor takes. It's like an NFL playoff game. The man has to battle for every single yard. But eventually he's going to make it into the end zone one more time. And he's immediately thinking of burrowing a couple of circlings again. There's one more Widow Mine that does not fire. Clem has 8 Marines, but with 8 Marines you don't win. As Reynor burrows a couple of Banelings. 5 SCVs and 8 Marines. Clem needs to scan, by the way. Do we have a scan? We do. We now have Widow Mines firing at the burrowed Zerglings. Oh, Reynor did not pay attention. He did do the hold position thing, but he didn't see it. What the fuck is this game? Clem is now back up to 12 Marines. There is a burrowed sub. Oh, Clem saw it though. Clem throws on a scan. Alright. Reynor is mining 1800 minerals a minute and 134 gas. That is not a lot. There are so many Widow Mines. There are 3 overseers. We have another tiny Zergling run by. Maybe a couple Banelings as well. Clem snipes all those Banelings as well. Only 4 Banelings remain. But Clem will tap out after he sees another Link run by. 40 army supply against 47. Clem taps out. After 21 minutes of craziness. Reynor lost 755 links in a 21-minute game, but he killed 116 SCVs. And Clem, with no SCVs left, is going to tap out. What a game. Well, that is one of the coolest Lairtech Zerg games that I've seen in a very, very long time. That brings me back to the heart of the Swarm days. Who can hate on Equilibrium, guys? Equilibrium gives us very unique games that are so different than everything else. Clem just has medevacs and mines, which is obviously not a bad combo. But yeah, once we started going down to like single digit Marines, I was like, okay, maybe +3 Marines won't win this. 5 against 45 workers obviously only means something if the bases are actually properly saturated, which was not really the case. And don't forget triple orbital, guys. Like, triple orbital can be so fucking powerful. Mules can do a lot, John Goodhorse. Mules can do a crazy amount. I think it was a fantastic game. I think it was incredibly close, incredibly competitive. And it's the first time in a while that I see 2-2 Lairtech Links and Banes actually defeat. Not 3-3 bio, but 3-2 bio. And a bunch of cloaked Widow Mines. What a sick game. 2-0 lead for the Italian Stallion. The nerds have no time to waste as they hop into game 3 immediately.
Round 3. Fight.
What an insane video game. This kid just kept on attacking, man. He probably didn't really have to attack. But that is all he knows. That is all he loves to do. And we guys can just enjoy it and appreciate it. Is it always the right thing to do? No. He has paid a pretty hefty price for it in the past. I think he got a lot better at it. That game, I feel like he just kind of turned up all the knowledge. And he just went for it. Old school Clem magic. It was not good enough. He's now down 0-2. Can he turn it around? Team. Liquids. Clem. Super fun, epic, scrappy, messy game. It's today the day then, guys. It didn't work out on Thursday. It did not work out on Friday. But we know he's been in the lab. We know he's been working harder than he's been working since basically the month leading up to Gamers 8 last summer. And it's really starting to show. He's looking faster. He's looking better. And he's starting to look more and more complete with every single day that goes by. Basilisk Reynor. It's just old school Zerg Rush now. I mean, if a 21-minute game can qualify as a Zerg Rush, then sure. And yes, there was a day and age that just going lair tag and spamming Link Bane was a thing. But that's not really a thing anymore because the Terran players got too good against it. And you need a whole lot more than just Links and Banes. So when we do get to see a game like that at the absolute highest level, and obviously Clem is the highest level, it is fantastic and it is very unique and it's crazy. It is unlike any other TVC I've seen in quite some time. Huh. Yeah, I know, right, Moti Chichi? Yeah, that was awesome. This kind of felt that it was that game of, do you call it chicken? Where you have the two cars driving into each other. And they were both just going to attack. And eventually somebody was supposed to go to the left or defend. But neither of them wanted to do it. Full speed ahead is what it was. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Very hectic. But I loved it. Yeah. Oh, trust me, John Goodhorse. Even with 0 SCVs, I'll pick the Terran every now and then. If they have the right army, mate, and they have a couple orbitals, it is absolutely doable. You don't need like 40 SCVs to build a whole bunch of Marines. Obviously, ideally, you have a little bit more than triple orbital and 4 SCVs, but Terran players can build a lot of Marines of just mules. And anybody who has played or watched a lot of StarCraft 2 has found themselves in one of those situations where you think the Terran is broke, but they ain't broke. And that is where you and I will disagree then, Mr. John Goodhorse. I have lost games myself where I played against Terrans where I can have 60 probes. If they have 4 orbitals and the Marines are the right unit and I don't have Colossus or High Templars, you can absolutely lose. Could indeed turn into a tough day for Clem after he lost to Solar earlier today, now down 0-2 in the grand finals of his stomping ground, as nobody has won this tournament more often than Clem. But it would not be the first time ever that Clem reverse sweeps Reynor, just like Reynor has reverse swept Clem. The most painful reverse sweep that ever happened between these two though had to be when Reynor was actually here in my house and we organized a viewing party for the final day of the ESL Europe Masters. Reynor was playing upstairs. He won the winner bracket. He was up 1-0. He takes the trio lead. There's like 15 people here downstairs watching the game. And then Clem wins 1. And Clem wins 2. Clem wins 3. And then Clem won all 4. An amazing moment for Clem, but a very painful one for Reynor. It was obviously very sad for all of us. You miss Wolf. If you miss Wall, mate, you should go ahead and fire up a couple of Wings of Liberty VODs on YouTube. And you can see if Wall was actually good or not. People in general are just very spoiled. And I feel like they almost don't appreciate how cool and amazing some of these games are in the year 2024. The only thing that Wall will ever always have over Legacy of the Void is that obviously you saw things for the first time. Because it was a brand new game. You cannot expect stuff to be shown for the first time ever, over and over and over again, right, in a 14-year-old game. It's like expecting to watch a chess match right now and expect every opening to be brand new and never been seen before. But these games are so much more dynamic. There is so much more trading and fighting and back and forth than there ever used to be. There are days of a single tournament where I feel I see more action than I used to see in 3 days of Wings of Liberty, and I was there. I casted the tournament. Played in some of them, the tiny ones, but casted a very decent amount of them. It was fun because it was a new strategy game. It was awesome, unique, cool storylines, a lot of different players with different nationalities. But the games itself were not even 10% as good as the games that you're currently watching. But obviously the nostalgia factor will always be very strong. Double Benji is going to get on top of the 4th base, as Reynor has already lost 2 queens in this game. And there's a little bit more. Ooh, then I think he would like to... Wow, the balls on Reynor to not cancel that hatch. He just assumed that Clem was going to send these Banshees away, and he was right. So, I mean, he always could have cancelled mid-air. Now he actually snipes one of the Banshees, as he's also getting a tiny surround on one of the Hellions. What could have been good for Clem, guys, to get a cancel on that hatch. Turns actually into a bit of a nightmare scenario for Clem, where he does not cancel the hatch, loses one of the Hellions. He's lost 3 Hellions in total, and lost one of the Cloak Banshees as well. Reynor has dropped the Spire. I don't know if that Spire has actually been revealed or not. Nope, not yet. Has not been revealed, has not been scouted. Shout out, by the way, to Alberian Live and Mind Spirit and Black Dread. Thank you for the kind words, guys, and the resubs. I appreciate it. Sorry, I had no time to read chat in that game too. I didn't want to do it because once I sometimes start reading chat, I get a bit too focused on it. I felt that that game was too awesome. There were too many trades, there were too many fights and run-bys that it deserved full focus. And I appreciate the love. Thank you. And I hope you guys were behaving very well. But I know we got slowly over here to keep you guys in check. Clem is forced to pick up these Marines in the top right side. I don't think he has scouted. Nope, still has not scouted that Spire. We checked earlier, we knew he didn't. And still not seen it yet. Could become awkward if those medevacs are carrying Marines and the Muras pop and get on top of it. Heartlet is a very good Terran map though. And it is incredibly difficult to beat Terran players like Clem or Oliveira on this map. As Reynor wants to get on top of this army, but Clem does not pick up. I think Reynor hoped that Clem would just pick up there immediately, but that does not happen. This seems like a very good engagement though for Reynor. Like one Widowmine says, are you sure? It's like, well, kind of sure, but obviously that final mine made it a bit better for Clem. You know, Quantum, but that is only made because people were not good. So then your problem is with the fact that people are good. It's like obviously if players get very good, they figure out how to scout properly, how to defend certain builds, how to deal with certain timings. And people won't go for weird builds and weird timings anymore if it just doesn't work because their opponents are too good in figuring it out. So it's like, if you're upset with the fact that the level is high, then yeah. Of course, in Wings of Liberty, you could get away with way more crazy stuff, and it was way easy to fool your opponents. Also, the game was limited when it came to scouting potential, right? Protoss didn't have a depth, so it was harder to scout. There were a few more things that you can think of. In general, people didn't expand that quickly, so it wasn't that easy to figure out if a certain all-in was coming or not. There were invincible late-game armies, especially early in Wings of Liberty, that, yeah, you could just sit there and spam Void Ray Colossus and then have a couple High Templars to feed back every single Corruptor, and it's like, cool. Nice. Not a bad Widowmine shot there for Clem. The second one is a little less impressive, but the first one was pretty good. Reynor is on 92 drones. Clem is on 83 SCVs. Reynor does fire up a burrow, and I thought we... I'm daydreaming. I thought I saw an infestation pit. I see an infestation pit, but didn't see it earlier. So Reynor's definitely thinking about going up too high here. Probably knows that Lairtech Zerg is not going to cut it on a map like Heartlet. Or maybe it's a little harder to create that magic and chaos that we just saw in Equilibrium. I do truly love that Reynor became such a big believer in Burrow, baby. Oh, Reynor's not paying attention there for a split second, and there's quite a few Mulas that he loses. Don't know how many he lost before, but it just ended up losing now 9 in total in this game after that little exchange. As Clem is, I feel like, more than ready to deal with Mutas. This seems like a difficult game for Reynor, but I thought the same about Equilibrium. The Lings and Banes are going to try to find their first connections, and they do get some of the Marines. Great tiny little long run by here, guys. Clem obviously does have units nearby, but Lings killing a Thor, that's a trade that any Zerg will take. Beautiful split off there by Reynor as he gets a tiny run by. It may not be much, but it obviously forces Clem to defend. And I think after that previous game, it is incredibly obvious that Clem is not a defender. Clem is a fighter, baby. He's a warrior. He does not run away from a fight. Are we sure he's French, by the way? I'm kidding, Frenchies. Just a joke. A couple of Lings and Banes will find a tiny connection, but Clem's army is big. Clem's army is powerful. The only thing he does not have anymore here is a Thor. And having a Thor in the mix is very nice to keep those Mutas at bay and zone them away. There was a time that corrupted that energy, yes. Ooh, as Reynor burrows a couple of Banelings. I will never forget Hazu Ops against, I think it was D-Maga, but it was Hazu against the Zerg. And the entire Gamescom crowd went wild. Oh, burrowed Banelings! As you guys go wild for those burrowed Banelings. You know, guys, Reynor gave me shit for talking about Burrow all this time. But now that he's finally using it, he's definitely finding success, but so is Clem with Widow Mines. As Widow Mines connect on these Mutas, the Mutas will still stick around and bring the fight to the missile turrets and those Widow Mines. There's a couple of low HP Marines stim forward. Reynor has honestly created a bit of a highlight reel for himself tonight with the Burrowed Banelings alone. He's getting ready for that Riyadh bonus, baby, if they hand it out. Because I hope for Reynor that he gets the planetary. I was about to say, not again! I had fucking shivers. I was like, what is this? The WTL code has playoffs again? Because that entire game and that entire clan war could have been so different if Reynor would have just taken out that base on Hardlet. It still hurts. I'm not totally over it yet. I'd be lying if I told you guys I was over it. Clem actually boosts a Thor forward to get a couple of shots off. There are more burrowed Banelings here, and the scan missed it. Reynor has 4,000 minerals in the bank and 1,100 gas. Hive is done. A lurk is on the way. Or at least... wait, he does this again. He is getting seismic spines. He has a Lurkaden and he builds another Lurkaden right next to it. We saw this in another game and I wanted to stick up for my boy and say he's probably on purpose, guys. He's trying to hit a very tiny Lurker window where you get range and speed at the same time. And no, he just upgraded it one at a time and he just completely ignored the other one. And I assume that that's kind of going to happen here as well, because by the time that other Lurker Den is done, Seismic Spines is pretty much going to finish up. So you see that these games are very draining, even for a man like Reynor, who's obviously used to playing video games fast. Has lost 0 drones, by the way, in a 14-minute game. It is a night and day difference compared to some of the other series we saw between these two. He is losing a lot of his Mutas. Maybe the day and age of the Muta is kind of over. Maybe the era of the Muta is gone. Now walking up ramps on Hardlet is going to be very difficult. Karma for Widow Mines. Hey. He's only using this one. He's not even using the other one. Oh, Clem throws down a scan and he somehow misses some of these burrowed Banelings. He's gonna run over it again. Reynor knows what he wants. Cannot quite force those Marines. He's gonna bait them. And he connects again. By moving the Lings to the left side, he bases a Terran army a little bit to the left. I mean, Reynor is just becoming a bit of a master of the burrowed Baneling here. I still don't know if it's all good enough. He's mega rich. But now we have to kill a Clem that is working on the advanced ballistics. Has 3-3 drilling claws and obviously should start producing ghosts soon, right? We have a Ghost Academy. Killing this Clem is hard. But I want to try to cast a cliche. If anybody can do it, it is Reynor, as this is now an orbital in the center of the map. We once more have two big fights happening, and these fights, they don't look all that bad for Reynor. And anything that doesn't look that bad is fantastic for the Italian stallion, as he is so freaking rich. He's got so many bases. The Lurkers will move forward. The Lurkers and Seismic Spines are doing their thing. 3 Mutas are just going to be annoying on a starport. Why the hell not? Leftover Mutas from earlier. Kind of like your leftover pizza from Domino's. It's like, yeah, still pretty good. Not quite as good as it was when we had 20 of them, but something. Liberator's trying to siege up. Clem honestly is in trouble, man. He just doesn't have any money. We do have our first 4 goals show up, but this is so much chaos. You see Lynx, Hydras, Lurkers, so freaking many of them. And a lot of Terran buildings are flying and burning down, and that is not a place that a Terran like Clem likes to be in. He does still have orbitals for days. We've got 5 orbitals on the map and 3 regular command centers. Earlier, this was an orbital for a bit. I think this time around, Clem is going to morph it into a planetary. You know the funny thing is, guys, is that this game could end in the near future, and then Reynor wins 3-0. It can also go on for another 30 minutes, and Clem wins it. And then Clem wins game 4 and 5. And then the narrative will shift from Clem washed up to Reynor cannot beat Clem. And it will all be determined in the next give or take. Oh, Burrow Bailings again, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Reynor says, Clem, you've given me some serious nightmares with your Widow Mines. I'm going to make damn certain that you get some nightmares about Burrowed Banelings. And from here on out, every single step you take on any map, you got to worry about Banelings the way I got to worry about Basilisk. Legitimately kind of feels that Reynor is giving Clem a taste of his own recipe. Slightly different, you know, but still pretty same. One of the ghosts getting picked up there, by the way. Second ghost in trouble. That one dies as well. As Reynor is just fucking everywhere, man. How is this kid so fast and so good? Why wasn't he this good during WTL? Why is he never this good during WTL? Why does nobody want to make me win anything? And I really do think that Clem is starting to be broken. We do have a bunch of girls doing their thing, pew 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 pew, but Reynor is just doing a phenomenal job in denying base after base after base. And everywhere we look, orbitals are dying, SCVs are falling. Reynor has lost 10,000 resources more in this game, but if he can break Clem, it is okay, it is worth it. We should use our Muta, by the way. Distraction maneuver. I think the ideal unit for Reynor is the one that can make him win this game. By the way, you know, who was it that said something about Lambo? I casted a best of 5 with Lambo, and he said, Reynor never ever 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 takes out the rocks, and it drives Lambo fucking insane. And I'm starting to pick up on this as well, where there are so many moments where it would absolutely benefit Reynor from taking out the rocks. You take out these rocks, you take out these rocks, that would make your life so much easier. And Reynor must really love Dustin Browder. We are now dropping an Ultralisk Cavern, and the game is slowing down a tiny bit. And it'll scare me for Reynor, guys. Because anything slowing down, in my eyes, is probably going to favor Clem. As that ghost count has gone from 4 all the way up to 12, but Reynor says, don't you worry, I'm not going to slow down forever. I am here to take out that center base that caused so much pain in those WTL Code S playoffs one more time. I mentioned earlier Clem has orbitals for days, and that hasn't really changed, right? 6 orbitals, no more regular command centers though, so 6 orbitals and a planetary. Yeah, honestly, Vanished Delphin, I love that, mate. I absolutely love what you just said there. This is kind of like I'm a journalist and I need to report a piece at like midnight, but the football game doesn't end until 11:45, so just type out like 2 pieces. One in which Team A sucks, and the other one in which Team A has turned things around and clawed victory from the jaws of defeat, and they still got it, baby. And we just wait to see what the outcome is, and then we'll figure out what piece of journalism we have to submit. And I still don't really know, but I think I'm starting to go with the maybe Clem is washed up piece of journalism, as Reynor is being hyper aggressive here, takes out another base, 12 SCVs, 1 lurker, still getting some shots off. Clem draws through his gun. We have our first infested. Whoa, double EMP misses. Triple EMP misses. Cuckoo, is this you? Is this why Reynor is winning? I haven't seen a Terran miss 3 EMPs since Cuckoo tried to kill an observer. In surveillance mode, by the way. Kidding, Cuckoo. It was not in surveillance mode, guys. In Kuko's defense, it was moving. The two infestors will on burrow, and Reynor lands a good Fongo. That's going to allow Hydras and Lynx to get on top of a lot of these ghosts. A lot of the ghosts will fall. Widow Mines will fall. And we have a tiny Ling run by in the bottom left side. More SCVs will fall, and that will do it, guys. It wasn't meant to be on Thursday. It didn't go his way on Friday. But the Monday night now belongs to the lovers. The Italian lovers of Basilisk. Reynor takes out Clem 3-2-0. And sets the record straight and says, I can still do it. Wow, what a series. What a series and what a performance. Amazing win, guys. That is an absolutely amazing win by Reynor. See if he wants to have a tiny chat. Reynor says, laughing my ass off. Full ape. I don't know what that means. I whispered to him, you see, we don't whine about terror and we don't cry. We just work harder. And hard work will get you where you want to be. There's no need to be upset over balance or units. Balance whining is for people that are not as good in video games as Reynor. And people that don't win tournaments. And Reynor finally wins. We'll give him a tiny call. Why not? I like the rocks thing. Maybe he needs a sec. Hello, hello?
Hello?
Hello, you got a camera or no camera?
Camera? I'm not sure about the lighting. Oh shit, it's awful. Wait.
Don't worry, mate. You'll fix it.
It's acceptable, I would say.
I don't see. Yes, I see you, mate. Let's go. All right. Chat, the game is not even over yet for the chat, but we're just going to go ahead and start immediately. Vamos, mate. You see, it's not about the ghosts or the widow mines. Hard work. Keep your head down. And we can get the W. Man, 3-0. After those obviously very close series that you had on Thursday. You had a close one on Friday as well, even if that was 3-1. What was different tonight?
I went a little bit more aggressive. I've been thinking about Clem a lot lately. And how to handle him in-game, obviously. But yeah, I came to a conclusion that skipping tanks is very bad for defending Rambais, even though it has like one bad mine shot and you're kind of dead. But with this kind of playstyle, I think you have to play tanks. Like if he has two tanks with this kind of playstyle, like on Oceanborn, for example, where I stopped at 66 drones, I'm kind of dead. But like knowing Clem, this is like the second blind counter to mines, I would say. But you have to micro well, because one bad mine shot and you're fucking dead.
Well, we had a lot of great mine shots, but you know what we also had a lot of, mate?
Great bailing burrows, whatever. I knew you were getting hyped. I fucking knew it. On Oceanborn, I was like, okay, he's getting excited, man.
Not just Oceanborn, man. On Heartland, you had a couple picture-perfect ones as well. You're becoming a believer.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this in Saudi Arabia as well. I don't know if you remember this, but it's very good against Clem because he's always pushing. So even if he pushes and he has to scan every single time, then it kind of becomes worth it. Like, not a lot of Terrans are out in the map 24/7. I think borrowed Banes are pretty good against Clem.
A perfect example of a Terran that's out 24/7 was Clem on Equilibrium. What on earth was that? Did you guys just decide to go back in time? Like, you turned back the hands of time, you're like, let's play Wings of Liberty style, baby. You attack, I attack.
That was 14-year-old Reynor against 14-year-old Clem. We just fucking kept going, man. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Clem would never stop attacking. Nowadays it's kind of less YOLO, but I was the same, you know, just Lingram by after Lingram by, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow. You want to keep attacking? I'll also keep attacking. No droning, baby.
Did it become personal at one point? It was like, all right, if you keep going, I keep going.
Yeah, I was like, okay, if I drone here, I probably won't lose, but I mean, we have to, you know, we gotta trade blows here.
Yeah, but you were kind of the one who started that because you had a really solid start on that map, and I feel like you had technically all the time in the world to drone up, but you didn't. You obviously went for...
I did it.
You went for a crazy
I was like, okay,
lanes.
I'm gonna abuse, because I've been thinking about Equilibrium specifically against Clem, and I thought, okay, probably staying on a low drone count and abusing the gold base is probably a good idea, because he never makes tanks on that map. And I can just keep run buying and keep going.
Yeah, awesome game, and I absolutely loved it. How did you experience Equilibrium? Was there a point where you thought you had him, or did you never think you had him until he left?
I was kind of confident. I was like, okay, I don't think I can lose now unless I keep attacking. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep attacking anyways. And then I almost threw. I think I was pretty in a very good spot at some point.
It was an awesome game. Obviously, a final game, hardly as well. There was one close moment. I had a fucking flashback, man, of the WTO code as I see you attack the planet. I was like, oh my god, we need like 2 more Veilings, man.
Yeah,
I got
the last
shivers.
Veiling did it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what's going on with Veilings, but I feel like I need fucking 40 of them nowadays. I don't get it. Like, planetaries don't die, and they one-shot my Veilings. Because I have like 30 Veilings, and then I go into the planetary, boom, one shot, minus 10 Veilings, you know? I'm like, okay, is this how it's gonna be?
All right, mate, I'll keep it short because obviously tomorrow, very important day. You're going to play some ZVZ with Doc, the late game macro monster. You ready for that one?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think my CVC is pretty good now.
All right, you want to make
I
some...
think overall I'm pretty confident in all of my matchups.
You want to make some spicy predictions for Maru Cure, Serral versus Solar, and Max Pax versus Hero.
Maru Cure, Maru 3-2, Serral Solar, Serral 3-1. What's the last one?
Max Pax Hero.
3-1 Max Specs.
All right. And last thing, I'm glad that somebody just reminded me. Thank you to Doc. Lambo mentioned this while I was casting with him. And I noticed
Rocks,
this too.
I know.
Why do you never kill Rocks?
I don't know, man. It's something weird with me. When he was coaching me for Saudi Arabia, he kept going, hey, man, you're really not killing the Rocks, and we really should. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then I started doing it in tournaments, but in practice, I was never doing it. And now I'm kind of having the same thing, where I'm like, okay, I really need to kill these Rocks. But then I never find the time for it. Because I'm always,
Well, I think there are some moments to kill those Rocks. But to be fair, these were very high-paced games, so...
Yeah, especially against Clem, I feel like there's never... Like in these 3 games, if you think about it, since the early game, there's never one moment where nothing is happening, you know? Even when I'm playing Muras and he's supposed to sit back, the guy is just attacking, you know?
Mm-hmm. And on Oceanborn, by the way, you had such a flying start because you were chasing the Reapers and he tried to save the Reapers with the 2 Hellions and the 2 Cyclones on the left side. And then you actually got those as well. At that point, does it just become so much easier for you to play the game?
I mean, that build is really, really good, honestly, because you have those units that don't impact the timing of the Medivacs. So even if I make links and I swipe that, then I need to go back into droning, but the Medivacs are so fast anyways, and he has 3 CCs, like that build is actually proper good.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't make it much easier. And I also found the broken location, so I thought I was kind of dead. And I was like, okay, might as well, you know. I kind of planned to go super YOLO in the first game to put the fear of God in him anyways. And he just enabled me, you know. He killed my first base and I was like, okay, time to go. I just ran-byed everything.
All right, mate. I'll let you go. Enjoy your late night dinner if you still have one. And obviously, good luck against Doc tomorrow. Any final words to everybody who was enjoying these games in the grand final?
Thank you guys so much for cheering for me. I finally got Clem. I checked the Ligulek. He beat me 6 times in a row since Gamers 8. And I can't take a 7th. No one beats Reynor 7 times in a row. So I had to do it. And yeah, hope you're happy to see my form at the moment. Because I think I'm pretty decent. And I'm gearing up for Katowice. There's still a few weeks left. So yeah, thank you guys for cheering for me. And yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, mate. That was awesome. Well done. Enjoy the victory. No, you worked hard for it. Well deserved. And we'll see you more tomorrow afternoon, probably around 3 p.m. or so. Good luck.
Yeah, something like that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was Reynor. The champ is back, baby. We're getting closer and closer to IEM Katowice. And you guys may not have seen the best Reynor over the last few months. But I think we are starting to get pretty damn close to the very best version of Reynor out there. And anybody who watched Gamers 8 last summer knows what that means. It's really funny because yesterday we had a little conversation with each other. And I think I tilted him a tiny bit because he was complaining about Ghost and whatnot. And I was like, we don't complain. We work harder. Yada, yada, yada. And I felt like he didn't like it all that much. But hey, today was different.